Hello everyone, this is Marshall Gittler, Head of Investment Research here at FXPRIMUS, bringing you the Week in Focus for the week beginning Monday, March 14th. Well, we have another week of central bank meetings this week. The Bank of Japan on Tuesday, the Fed on Wednesday, and the Bank of England on Thursday. For good measure, the Swiss National Bank and Norges Bank meet too. Now, the Bank of Japan's adoption of negative rates in January changed what was previously perceived as an extraordinary measure into a respectable tool in the central banker's toolbox. However, last Thursday's ECB policy changes showed the limits to negative rates because of the problems they create for the banking system and the need to focus policy on boosting credit growth, not on depressing the exchange rate. That makes it even less likely that any of the central banks announcing this week will lower rates further. I expect the Bank of Japan to stand pat, which may disappoint those who are looking for further easing moves and could therefore cause the yen to strengthen. The Fed, too, may surprise the market by forecasting greater tightening this year than investors expect, which could strengthen the dollar. The Bank of England isn't likely to make any notable changes, and in their meetings should have relatively less impact than the other meetings. Politics are likely to play a role in trading this week, too. Today, the markets will deal with the results of Sunday's regional elections in Germany. Then on Tuesday, there are several major U.S. presidential primaries. If Ohio Governor Kasich wins his home state and Florida Senator Rubio wins his, frontrunner Donald Trump might not be able to wrap up the nomination, and it could go to a brokered convention. On the other hand, their loss Tuesday could seal Trump's victory. Separately, there's also an EU migration summit on Thursday and Friday. Now, there's a lot of other important information coming out about the U.S. real economy this week. We'll learn more about the production side from the Empire State Index on Tuesday, industrial production on Wednesday, and Philly Fed Index on Thursday. On the consumption side, we get retail sales on Tuesday and U of N Consumer Sentiment Index on Friday. Housing sector data includes the National Association of Home Builders Housing Market Index on Tuesday and housing starts and building permits on Wednesday. The UK will be in focus on Wednesday when the employment data for January and February are released, and Chancellor of the Exchequer George Osborne presents his 2016 budget to Parliament. Usually a government will use its first budget after gaining power to take any painful measures that it thought necessary, but with the EU referendum coming up, the budget's likely to be more like a pre-election budget than a take-the-medicine post-election budget. At the same time, Osborne's constrained by his pledge to reach a balanced budget within the next 5 years. So I expect a few major changes and just some rejigging of taxes that won't have such a strong impact on the financial markets overall. Finally, for the EU, today's industrial production figures and Friday's Germany PPI are the only major statistics coming out this week. This is Marshall Gittler, Head of Investment Research at FXPRIMUS. Get more market insights on our education pages and turn your trading ideas into action with FXPRIMUS, the safest place to trade.